When he was younger, the Baal Shem Tov used to help out the local water carrier of Isalovitz. His name was Zvi Melech. Zvi Melech used to go around during the day and deliver water to all the families that could afford it, and in the evening he would deliver water to all the poor families that couldn't afford it. Baal Shem Tov thought this was such a lofty thing to do, such a big mitzvah, such a good thing, that he wanted to help him. And so the Baal Shem Tov began helping Zvi Melech carry water for a couple years, and the two became very good friends. Now it happened one cold winter day that the two were carrying water to poor families, and they went to a house of this poor family. When they walked in, they found a very sick child, unconscious on the ground. So Zvi Melech turned to the Baal Shem Tov and said, "Quickly, run to the forest and get all the twigs and wood you could find." And he came back, and the two got started on making a fire. And when the house had warmed up sufficiently and the boy looked like he was doing better, they moved on to the next house, only to find another sick child. Turns out many of the poor families in this area were not doing well with the cold this winter, and many of the children were getting sick. So Zvi Melech turned to the Baal Shem Tov and said, "From now on, during the day, we're going to collect wood. We're going to get as much sticks as we can, and then in the evenings we'll deliver it to these poor families. Hopefully they can make it through the winter." The Baal Shem Tov responded. He said, "Look, it's a great idea, and I'll help you with all my heart, but it's a lot of wood, and we don't have the money to do this, We're going to need a lot more." So Zvi Melech said, "It's true, but if only we knew someone that knew the cure for Ayin Hara, because I know a very faithful Jew that could surely provide us with all the wood we need if only we could cure his son who is sick with Ayin Hara." The Baal Shem Tov says, "If that's what the case is, I could surely whisper the right things to help this boy and help all the other poor families. Take me to him." So the next day the two went to this faithful Jew, and the Baal Shem Tov went up to a sick child who was lying unconscious and whispered verses from Job. And he said, these are the verses, basically Job was walking and he was very distressed. And Eliyahu Hanavi appeared to Job and said, "Job, why are you distressed? Is it because your head hurts?" And Job said, "Yeah, it is." So Eliyahu Hanavi told him, "Go to the Genesar Sea, immerse yourself there, and you'll be cured." And the Baal Shem Tov continued, "The same God that cured Job will surely cure Binyamin ben Rachel." And without a doubt, after he had finished uttering these words, the boy sat up and was immediately cured, healthy, good as new. And so the faithful Jew, true to his word, gave the Baal Shem Tov and Zvi Melech all the wood they needed for the whole winter, and they were able to provide for these poor families. Now, years later, after the Baal Shem Tov had been revealed as a tzaddik, he had been a rebbe in Mezhebush, and Zvi Melech decided to take this boy that the Baal Shem Tov had cured to go and visit the rebbe after so many years. And when they went there, Zvi Melech requested that maybe the Baal Shem Tov could help him, provide him with some money, so that he could continue to provide wood for these families to make it through the winter. But the boy had a very unique request. The boy said, "Rebbe, as you know, my father runs this operation in the woods, and it's up to me to overlook all the workers. The only thing is I'm terrified of the woods. I don't like the forest. Every time I go there, I'm overcome with a palpable fear, and I don't know what to do. Maybe you can write me an amulet, something to protect me." So Baal Shem Tov sat and thought for a little bit. He was very hesitant, but eventually he decided, okay, he'd write him an amulet. And he gave it to the boy and told him, "Look, only wear it during the week. Don't wear it on Shabbat." So he said, okay. Now, sometime later, the Baal Shem Tov went to visit one of his students. When he went to visit his student, as soon as he walked in the door, the student said, "Rebbe, it's good to see you, but tell me, don't you ever learn Torah?" The Baal Shem Tov was shocked. He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Doesn't it say in the Mishnah, from our sages, that whoever uses divine names for their own benefit will surely be punished? And just the other day, we found a boy dead in the forest, crushed by a tree, who had one of your amulets." The Baal Shem Tov says, "You're misunderstanding what happened here. It's true, I did give this boy an amulet, but if you look at it, you'll see that it doesn't have any divine names in it. But I didn't know when I gave it to this boy that it would be very hard to avert the divine decree, because the minister of the forest was trying to kill this boy." So they brought in the amulet, opened it up, and sure enough, all that it said inside was, "Israel ben Sarah decrees that the minister of the forest should not harm Binyamin ben Rachel." That's it. And the Baal Shem Tov continued and said to the student, "You should know that the minister of the forest was punished for cutting down this man. As it says in the Torah, man is a tree of the field. And because this minister of the forest cut down this man, this tree of the field, So too all of his trees were cut down, the forest was razed, and nothing ever grew back there again. I hope everyone is having a lovely Sukkot.